Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
Okay, so your Dodge has a check engine light on, and it's throwing you a real curveball of a code, P0846 2C. It kind of feels like your car is speaking a totally different language, right? Well, don't worry, you've definitely come to the right place. Let's dive in and translate exactly what your transmission is trying to tell you. So what is this P0846-2C code all about? Look, this isn't just some random generic alert. It's a very, very specific signal that something just isn't adding up inside your transmission's brain. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly what it means, what's causing it, and most importantly, how you can go about getting it fixed. First things first, let's cut through all the technical jargon. This error code isn't pointing to one single broken part. No, it's actually signaling a logic problem, a confusing message that the transmission's computer just can't make sense of. The key phrase to understand here is pressure switch rationality, or PSR for short. Basically, the transmission control module, the TCM, that's the transmission's computer, is getting a message that just defies all logic. Here's a great way to think about it. It's like your home security system screaming that the kitchen window is open while you're standing right there looking at it, and you know for a fact it's shut tight. Your car's computer's in the same boat. It's getting a signal that just doesn't match reality. So, how do we solve this little mystery? Well, we start by playing detective, and our investigation begins with the electrical system. You know, more often than not, this kind of logic error points right back to a problem with the wiring or maybe the power supply. So we're going to treat those as our primary suspects. A good mechanic isn't just going to start guessing and replacing parts. Nope. They follow a clear diagnostic path, a set of steps. They'll start by making sure the transmission's computer is even getting the proper power it needs to think straight. After that, they'll hunt for any breaks or bad connections in the wiring. It's a systematic process of elimination, all designed to pinpoint exactly where that signal is getting lost or corrupted. And here's the thing, most of that hunt, 3 of those 4 electrical checks, all zero in on one specific pathway, the T1472C pressure switch sense circuit. Now, I know that sounds complicated, but it's just the fancy name for the specific wire that carries the signal from that pressure switch back to the transmission's computer. If this one little wire is damaged, the computer gets bad information. Simple as that. Now, to really understand what can go wrong with that circuit, we need to know 2 key electrical terms: open and shorted. An open circuit is like a drawbridge that's stuck in the up position. The electrical signal just can't get across. A shorted circuit, on the other hand, is like the electricity taking a wrong turn down a one-way street it shouldn't be on. Either way, the end result is a scrambled, faulty signal. All right, so let's do a quick recap of our electrical suspects. A TCM power issue means the computer's brain is basically underpowered. An open circuit means there's a break in the wire somewhere. A short to ground happens when that wire is touching the car's metal frame, and a short to another circuit is when it's touching a neighbor wire, creating total chaos in the message. But what if it's not electrical? What if a mechanic checks all the wiring and everything looks perfect? Well, after ruling out the wiring, our investigation takes a sharp turn. We now have to look at the other major possibility, an actual mechanical issue happening deep inside the transmission. And you know what? That mechanical suspect is surprisingly simple. It's an internal fluid leak. See those pressure switches we've been talking about? Their whole job is to read the hydraulic pressure from the transmission fluid. If that fluid is leaking inside the system, the pressure drops. So the computer expects to see high pressure for a certain gear, but the switch is honestly reporting low pressure because of the leak. And right there, that's the contradiction. That's the rationality error. Now, this isn't a leak you're going to see dripping on your garage floor. It's all happening internally, inside what's called the 2C clutch circuit. The usual culprits are things like worn-out rubber seals that have just gotten old and brittle, or maybe a faulty transmission solenoid, which is the part responsible for directing all that fluid pressure in the first place. Okay, so we've laid out all the potential culprits, from bad wiring all the way to internal fluid leaks. So what's the path forward? How do you actually connect each specific cause to the right solution? Well, think of this as your roadmap to the right fix. It directly connects each potential cause to its specific solution. For instance, if the mechanic finds other power-related codes, step 1 is to fix the power wiring. If they find that T147 wire is open or shorted, then that specific circuit is what gets repaired. And finally, if all the wiring checks out clean, then they know it's a mechanical issue. It's time to go inside and inspect that clutch circuit for bad seals or faulty solenoid. See? Each problem has a distinct logical solution. And that really brings us to the single most important takeaway from all of this. Error code P0846-2C is not a signal to just run out and replace a sensor. It's a call for a proper step-by-step diagnosis. Understanding this process will save you a ton of time and money, whether you're working on the car yourself or just talking to your mechanic. As the experts say, by understanding the potential causes, symptoms, and solutions, automotive technicians can successfully diagnose and repair the issue. And now you're so much better equipped to understand it too. You're armed with the knowledge to really grasp the logic behind this confusing error. So the next time you see a check engine light, you'll know that the real question isn't just what's broken, but why is the system sending a signal that just doesn't make any sense?